The idea is it's been beautifulely carved. This was something that was there that Dragon had created. And I was thinking that this whole thing would be covered in moss and deep, deep greens, and like it's been under the sea and it was revealed.
Thinkwell is a creative agency that creates location-based entertainment. We tell stories in physical places, like theme parks or museums or cultural attractions. We're magicians and carnies, in a way.
We're all kind of crazy, nerdy, fun people.
If you ask 20 people here at Thinkwell how they got into this industry, you're going to get 20 different stories. And I discovered it working at a park, and I realized, oh my God, there's people here that create this stuff.
I was always making stuff. I'd go make forts in the backyard, and my parents wouldn't let me leave them up because it would wreck the lawn. So I have to like just build these forts and then take them down that night, and then the next day I want to build another fort.
When I was 7 years old, I used to design theme parks. My first theme park was in a giant gumball, which really sounds pretty disgusting, but I thought how great, you can tear off a piece of the wall and eat it anytime you want. The whole idea of experience design is really a multidisciplinary approach because it really should be everything you see, hear, smell, touch, and taste.
It's such an interesting world because it's the joining of all these different disciplines in the arts.
We have architects and engineers and finance people and writers and filmmakers and fine artists and industrial designers.
And they all have to come together in this really beautiful whole to tell a story. And that's really what we do. We tell immersive stories.
The clock is running.
We combine the storytelling, the immersion, the technology, the art and craft all together, much like you would for theater, but in ours it has to work 12 hours a day, 365 days a year for decades, and have real people moving through that theater. So it has to be safe and reliable and not kill people.
The kind of clients that we get here at Thinkwell run the gamut. Sometimes they're a real estate developer who owns a plot of land and wants to add some entertainment to it. Sometimes it's just a guy with a bunch of money and a dream who wants to create something cool.
We work with the client to come up with sometimes hundreds of ideas and begin to hone in almost like a divining rod to determine what is the right direction they want to go.
How big, how much, how tall, how heavy, how fast. It's all the superlatives that go into every little piece, be it a ride or a building. The guest is the main character. They become our protagonist. They're also the camera. Instead of watching something on screen, there's no cuts and edits in real life.
Every day is completely different.
One day you'll be drafting, and one day you'll be designing or painting, one day you'll be sculpting.
And then an hour later, we're talking about trolls and gnomes and elves for an indoor theme park in China. And an hour later, we're talking about the Hunger Games.
What's up, guys?
We always say that we're not just consumers of what we do. Pretty much everyone here on the weekend will go to museums, they'll travel around the world to go visit theme parks or other experiences, not because it's research for what we do, but because we just are complete geeks about this stuff.
You're hiring the person that has all these different talents and skills, and maybe they've got crazy hobbies. Maybe they're illustrators or, audio engineers or something, but then you see this whole person and you're like, oh, you also do roller derby. Awesome.
Good ideas come from anywhere at Thinkwell, and so sometimes when we're solving a problem, it's not going to be just from the creative director. It's going to be from some other person in the production team may see a problem and have their own take on it, and we empower our employees to bring their ideas to the table, no matter what discipline they're in. It's a real testament that part of these attractions become a living, breathing thing. And when they leave us, they become something else, and that's great.
All that ties back to exactly what I was doing when I was 7 years old. And to think that I didn't have to be good at math. I didn't have to do what my father told me I had to do. And instead, I followed my heart and went after something that I never imagined you could get paid to do, and do it every day with a bunch of really awesome people. It doesn't get any better than that.